what is programming. Now, people might give answers like it is C++, C, Python, Java. But if you're aware that these are programming languages, you use these programming languages to write a program. Now, what is a program? A program is like a set of instructions which you give to the computer to perform a specific task. Now, as you can see here, majority of you said that you know what's competitive programming. That's great. There are few who somewhat know what it is, and there are few who have no idea. So let us begin. So I want to give you a real life example that how it is applicable. So that way it will be much more relatable. So everybody has an Aadhaar card, right? So everyone here has an Aadhaar card which is linked to their SIM card. Okay. Now let's view at the problem statement. The problem statement is such that a telecom company has to fetch the postal address from the Aadhaar card which is associated with each SIM card. So how would you do it? So here we have the Aadhaar cards, a billion Aadhaar cards, and a billion SIM cards. And maybe SIM card 1 is linked to Aadhaar card 142 and SIM card 2 is linked to Aadhaar card 293. Okay, so they aren't, it's not like SIM 1 is linked to Aadhaar 1. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to retrieve the address from each of the SIM cards, right? So what will be your basic approach? So since we have for each SIM card, we'll have to search in the Aadhaar card database. So for SIM 1, I'll have to search through all these Aadhaar cards, through all these billion Aadhaar cards to get that one address. And then from this for the SIM 2, I'll be performing the same operation. So one SIM card has to perform 10 raised to 9 operations, right? Now, third year guys, if you are studying analysis of algorithms, you might know about time complexity. So if for SIM card 1, we are getting the Aadhaar card in the first search. Let's say that we are getting it in the first search itself. So what will be the time complexity? It will be O of 1, right? Because then you don't have to scan the rest of the database. Now, worst case complexity, that for SIM card 1, the Aadhaar card is the Aadhaar card link is in the last position. So for that, you have to go through the entire database. That is through all the n elements. So here the time complexity would be O of n. Even if we talk about the average time complexity, it will be O of n by 2, which is again O of n. So for one SIM card, you're performing 10 raised to 9 operations. So therefore, doing this for 10 raised to 9 SIM cards, you can do the math, it's 10 raised to 18 operations in total. Now let's see how much a computer can do in 1 second. So a computer can perform 10 raised to 9 operations in 1 second. So for 10 raised to 18 operations, how much time will it take? You can do the math, you can see it comes approximately 31.7 years. That is 32 years. So just for retrieving an address for all the SIM cards, it takes 32 years. I mean, is it even feasible? Is this efficient? Of course, nobody is going to use this, right? We need a better approach. Okay, so now I want to ask you if you guys have any suggestion. Let's just keep this little interactive and let's make it less complicated. Let us say that the government has the Aadhaar card data in ascending order. Then what will you do? Anyone? Yes, Rishi said sort the data. Yes, the data is already sorted. Correct, Rishikesh. Binary search. Okay, then search. Right. Yes, great. Of course, we'll be performing binary search algorithm for, I think majority of here must be aware of the binary search algorithm. We keep dividing the array in half until we get it. We get the required value. Now we are able to do that in 30 operations. How 30 operations? The time complexity of binary search is log n to the base 2. So if you calculate log 10 raised to 9 to the base 2, it comes out to be approximately 29 point something. So therefore 30 operations. So you can see previously it took us 32 years, and now let us calculate. So for one sim, we are doing 30 operations. For 10 raised to 9, we'll be doing 30 into 10 raised to 9. That is 30 seconds. That's amazing, right? That's really crazy. Like 32 years and 30 seconds. So this is what competitive programming does. Like by applying algorithms, using data structures, this is how we make use of it in real life. Now, so again, the definition, what is competitive programming? It's like mind sports. You really have to think. You can't just blindly write the code. You have to think about the edge cases, the corner cases. And people really enjoy it who do it on a regular basis. You might ask them. It's really like it keeps you on your toes. Like you have to for writing an efficient code, you'll have to use data structures, maths, logic, algorithms, and also you have to perform it under the given time. So for example, if they're giving that under 3 seconds or under 4 seconds your program should be executed, if it crosses that, you might get an error. So it's not only about your solution being correct, it's also about being efficient. You have to write such code which occupies less memory, which takes less time, and which is efficient. So what are the benefits? Okay, when you do this, of course, helps improve logic and problem solving skills, makes you faster and more focused. Like when you do the same thing again and again, you become pro at it, right? And hands-on implementation of algorithms. Now, third year students, you are having a subject called AOA. So you're studying everything. You're studying knapsack, you're studying all the different types of algorithms. Even in second year, you had data structures, stack, queue, linked list. But how many of you actually went and implemented those? Like from how much I know from my experience, I don't see many people doing that because for this you have to go out of your way, right? In our exams, we only study what is required, so we will only study the theory part. Like we know what the algorithms are, we know what the data structures are, but have we ever implemented it? Here is what in competitive programming you have to make use of all those, and habit of writing efficient code. Like as I said, it's not only about getting the answer correct, the code has to be efficient. And of course, lab assignments, they'll be very easy. Make you placement ready. Now, since we are fourth year, our placement is going on right now, and every company has a coding round. Okay, now it depends on the company what the level of the coding round will be. So suddenly, if you're in fourth year and you're told to give the coding round, how is it possible if you haven't practiced before, right? Like no matter how good your grades are, how good your aptitude test is, to get in the interview, you have to crack the coding round. And also when you participate in such contests, you get to demonstrate your skills, and this will boost your confidence, right? Good salary. Now I don't want to give you this greed that do competitive programming and you'll get good salary. I'm just saying that okay, so one of the company's placement question was to check if the string is palindrome or not. Very easy, right? Very easy. But the package was also according to that. Now PayPal is hiring. You know what the package PayPal is offering to the freshers? It is 24 LPA, 24 lakhs per annum. Now that first round itself is coding round. They focus on data structures, algorithms, then they'll check time complexity, everything. So it's up to you. If you want to go to product-based companies, you have to be good at you have to polish your coding skills, because that will be the first round of elimination. and then comes your interview and the other rounds. But this is your first round. So when we generated the form and we got the responses, one of the response was how to code. Now I don't judge you, because even I have seen my friends, even though in 11th and 12th they had taken computers, even in first year you study C programming, but they only study for their exams, and then they don't really go out and code or apply it, you know. And you might, and it's, to start anything, you always think that, "Arey, how will I do it? It's already too late. All my friends are really good at it." But you know what? Everybody starts from scratch. So the first thing is to learn a programming language. Now, I think you might have a little bit of idea about what the syntax is, and any one language which you are comfortable with. If not, you can still learn. I'm saying you can still learn, because if you are in third year, second year, you guys have a lot of time. You can learn a programming language and then choose a platform to practice questions, because practice makes you perfect, right? And then study about data structures, algorithms, again practice, and then compete in contests. Now, let's talk about the languages which are used for competitive programming. So here we have first C++, because if you see majority of CP coders, they use C++ because it is the fastest executing programming language. Correct? It has an incredible STL support. What is STL? STL is Standard Template Library. Now in second year, if you had studied data structures, for writing the push and pop instructions, you had to write an entire set of code, right? For push function, for pop function. But in STL, those are ready-made. You just have to use them. We have dynamic arrays such as vectors. You should just know how to use them. You focus more on logic, less boilerplate code. I'll tell you more about it. And most preferred language by world champions. Then comes Java. Java is also fast, but it's a little slower than C++, but it has more boilerplate code. Now, what is boilerplate code? That is to write a certain function. In Java, you'll require more number of lines as compared to C++. And then we have Python. Now I know most people they will choose to go for Python because it's very easy. You don't have to write the entire syntax. Everything is ready made. But if you see, its execution time is really slow. And if you really want to go deep into CP, Python is not preferable. It may not be the best choice for you. So if you can write code in Python, you can also write it in C++ and Java, right? The logic remains the same. Just you'll have to learn about the syntax. And it's not that difficult, you know. Now, where can you practice? Of course, CodeChef, CodeForces, Top Coder, Geeks for Geeks, and also Lead Code, HackerRank, Hackerer. There are so many, and it's available online. It's free. You just have to go create an account and start coding. Now, this was another question which we asked in the form, that do you participate in competitions on platforms like CodeChef and CodeForces? So you can see more than 50% of people said that no, I just do problems from the practice section. And the next majority group was that I do not solve problems on any platform. So people who regularly solve, you can see their number is really low. Now, when we saw earlier, many people know about competitive programming, like more than 50% knew what it is. But that those 50% people, they aren't actually practicing, and aren't actually coding in a competitive environment. So what is the difference when you code alone, like in a practice section and in a competitive environment? So what happens in competitive environment is you have that time pressure. Basically, that pressure is there and you have to perform under that pressure. So maybe you can do that when you're sitting alone and you're chilling, but you may not be able to write the same code in that given amount of time under pressure. And when you sit for placements or even competitions like Code Beta, there is a certain time limit and you have to perform in that. So again, we had asked in the form that what activities would you like to conduct? Would you like us to conduct? And we got many responses. These are few, and you can see more than, I mean, 75% of the responses were that we need daily coding problem tests or monthly coding challenges, workshops, practice sessions, competitive programming, CP competitions. More than 75% of the responses were the same. So what we are doing is that tomorrow from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock a.m. Don't get confused. It's not p.m. It's 2 a.m. That is from 4th October 10 o'clock a.m. to 5th October 2 a.m. Right? This is especially for the night owls who find it more comfortable during the night time. So we are keeping a practice contest. Now, you might have seen in the forms we had written to start a CodeChef chapter. So what is this CodeChef chapter? This chapter is present in most of the colleges and they conduct such competitions, such workshops on a regular basis. Okay, so our college does not have that. Now we guys are applying it, and once it's formed, then it's then it's just passed down. The committee is just passed down. But for the first time, you have to fill an application on the CodeChef website. You have to go through their interview process and etc. So the practice contest which we'll be conducting now, based on the number of submissions, the CodeChef, they will decide that if this college needs to have a chapter or not. Okay, so the basic aim of this is to see that they need a minimum number of submissions to qualify for the CodeChef chapter. Okay, and this is a practice contest. It will be conducted on CodeChef. We'll be sending out the links. And trust me, guys, trust me when I say this, the questions are very, very easy. Like they are beginner level questions because this is not a competition. This is just to see the number of submissions we get because we are including everyone here, right? Like the non-coders also, the first-time coders also, and also people who regularly do CP. So for them, to get everyone, we are keeping these basic questions. And they're very, like if you do CP regularly, I think you will be able to do all those questions in like half an hour. There are 9 questions, very easy. And if you haven't ever written a program on your own, this is your chance. Go, and I'm sure this will boost your confidence. It's that easy, and you don't have to pay anything. You just have to go. You just have to solve 1, 2, 3, and I'm sure you'll be able to solve all of them. Like 90% people will be able to solve all of them. And also the timings are very flexible. You have like 16 hours, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. any day. It is a Sunday. Just whenever you feel like, open your laptop, open your phone, and submit the code. It's that easy, and it's like there is no hassle in this. So if we get the minimum number of submissions, our college will have a CodeChef chapter, and the benefits of this will be in your responses. As you said, you need guidance, you need workshops, sessions for DSA, for how to calculate time complexity, how to write an efficient code, and these regular coding sessions will be able to do that. Also, we'll be able to do lots of other things. We do have plans for that, but for executing all of that, first we need to have a chapter. So that's why go and code. Even encourage your friends. It hardly takes any time. I'm sure it might not even take you more than an hour. Even if it takes you, then it's a good start. Because it will definitely boost your confidence. Now, we had also asked in the form if you have a CodeChef username. So few of them had, like 50% of them had, 50% of them did not have. Now, since this will be conducting on the CodeChef website, the CodeChef account is mandatory. Let me just quickly tell you how can you get started. Like right from creating your account. This is their website. Now let me show you like how it is. Yeah, so this is their website. Here they have the ongoing challenges, everything. If you're new, you can go here. They'll give you links like what to refer, what not to. And the October challenge, it's currently going on. Then we have the top performers here. Then compete, discuss, practice, and learn. And also on YouTube, if you follow them, they have started a DSA series wherein the experts are coming in. They are teaching. They are taking problem statements and they are teaching you how to approach it, how to go about it, everything in detail. They are like 1 hour sessions. Even that's really of good quality. Now, if you are new, if you don't have an account, you can just create one. I know you all know how to create an account, just it's my duty to tell you. So whatever username you want, then your name, okay, then your email ID, your password, then basic details, then what is your preferred programming language, your graduation year, our college name, city, and just register. That's it, you will be done. And then this is how a basic problem statement the page would look like. And this is not only for CodeChef, this is for any like even if it's for Hacker and Hacker Earth, the same pattern is followed. You will have the problem statement name, the code, the statement like the description, and what are you supposed to do here. Then the input format, what should the output be, and the constraints. So constraints are really important. Like if you're required to use long int or long int, but you're using int, then you might get an error. So that's why they're mentioning the constraints. And the inputs and outputs should be in the mentioned format. So here you can see the time limit, the source limit, everything is given. Now, once you submit, what are the different outcomes? Compilation error, you might have made a syntax mistake. As we talked about, if the time limit is 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and your program is exceeding that, if it comes out to be 5 seconds, then it's rejected. Memory limit exceeded, as we spoke about the integer and long int type. Runtime error, maybe you're dividing by 0, and wrong answer. Like your code is correct, everything is there, but the output is not what it should be. And the last is accepted. That is when you pass all the test cases. Okay, so that was from our side. This is what we wanted to tell you about. And I hope that you guys participate tomorrow. It's very chill, and if you guys have any queries, you can refer to these two numbers. You can contact them, you can ask them.